What's up, everybody? Welcome back into TK Wrestling. We are here with our Saturday night main event predictions, this time for the January 24th edition, 2026. They don't number these things, and and they're kind of all over the place, so kind of have to specify by the date. This is the week before the Royal Rumble in 2026.
And this will be on Peacock. This will be on Peacock, not on like, I don't know. Has ESPN done anything except for that one Saturday WrestlePalooza?
Survivor Series. Yeah.
Oh, they do Survivor Series? Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, just to say, Saturday night's main event has always been on Peacock ever since they started doing it.
Right.
But and then all the PLEs, because I guess this isn't considered a PLE, is Netflix International, and then ESPN for us, because America likes to make us pay more money for the things that we already want to watch. But
help me buy a VPN, people.
Well, I'm about this close. The VPN costs less than $10 a month, so I'm about this close to doing it. And CVV, if you listen to Chris Van Vliet, he's got a promo out for it right now, so might as well go get you a VPN if you haven't already, because you could be watching all this on Netflix Canada. So just, if you ever think about a VPN, if there's any VPN companies out there that want to sponsor this, wouldn't be too mad about that either. Let's jump into Saturday night's main event predictions. I was just telling you before we started that 2 of these matches feel like a foregone conclusion. The other 2 could go either way.
All right, well, I'm curious what your second one is that feels, because I feel like only one of these for me is a foregone conclusion. So I'm curious what your second one is.
Well, let's jump into the first match, the match that was just made official last night on Friday Night SmackDown. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. These 2 have gone off against each other in the WWE, and prior multiple times they've seen each other. And Shinsuke basically confronted AJ last night and said, "Hey, look, if you're really going out this way, if you're really going to put everything on the line against Gunther, let's have one more tune-up match to make sure that you are still phenomenal." So that kind of tells me that this match is A, going to be great, but B, a guaranteed AJ Styles win. I think this is one of the ones that is a foregone conclusion. I think there's 0 chance that AJ Styles loses this match. I think it's going to be great. They'll probably give him 15 to 20 minutes. I think it's going to be an excellent match. But with the way commercials work, that means one of these matches is going to have to be cut short, more than likely. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think that AJ Styles is a definite winner of this match. Again, it's like 100% to 0% chance. I don't think there's any way Shinsuke Nakamura wins this match. So give me AJ Styles over Shinsuke Nakamura, and maybe, probably, most definitely the last time ever, at least in a WWE ring. Yeah, give me AJ Styles over Shinsuke Nakamura.
No, the bigger question is not does AJ win. The better question is this match of the night? Is this going to be, and do we open with this? Is this the opening match? And if we do, is this match of the night? Like, are we just blowing people away? The average viewer who doesn't watch WWE might not know the names AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, it's not a Cody Rhodes, it's not a Roman Reigns, so I don't know where the average, like I said, Saturday Night Main Event, the idea is this is for people who maybe don't watch wrestling all the time, right? You're going to get a treat. If you don't watch WWE all the time, but all of us, hopefully, if you're listening to this, you do watch, we're going to get a treat. This is going to be, like you said, probably a 15 to 20 minute match. They're going to pull out all the stops. We're going to see some crazy moves, some classic moves coming back as well. And this is just going to be, this is a fan service match. Let's be real here. Shinsuke might as well have come up and said, "Hey, look, all the fans think you're retiring at Royal Rumble, or your career is ending at Royal Rumble. They need more of you first. How about me and you go? Because this will be fun." That might have well been the promo last night. So look, I'm with you 100%. There's no way AJ loses this, but this is going to be, just like I said, the question is this match of the night or is it not?
Yeah, and my biggest thing is any percentage or smidge of doubt in my brain that thought AJ might beat Gunther at the Royal Rumble and save his career went out the window with this match. Well, because out of everybody, you can say there are tons of people in the WWE that you want to see AJ go against before he retires, but the consensus number 1 guy that we all wanted to see him face one more time before he was done was Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right.
And now that that's done, now that that's going to be done tonight, I really don't think, unless you're, again, just doing like AJ versus the future or AJ versus a lot of guys that we're just forcing him together, when you look at like overall story and the history that these 2 have together, there's nobody else but Shinsuke Nakamura. And so now that match is happening tonight, I am almost positive that I can say that maybe it was a 95% chance before, but my 95% has gone to 100% that AJ is 100% retiring at the Royal Rumble. And it just, I guess I have to start coming to grips with that and just realize that not only is Cena gone, but now AJ is going to be gone soon within a month and a half of each other. I don't know. I just didn't expect it to be happening this soon. And now with him having this match against Shinsuke, I think it most definitely is. So yeah, that's a little depressing. But I think in terms of as of now, give me AJ Styles over Shinsuke Nakamura. We are both in agreement on that one.
Man, and look, I'll tell you what though, and you can take it with a grain of salt. But the one thing WWE Unreal they've said is like, we love the fans that think something and then going left. So it would be nuts if the Royal Rumble is not the last AJ Styles match. It's like, oh, fooled you, but man, it's like everything just feels like it is. So
yeah, the only way I've been thinking about this, and our video about Gunther and AJ on TikTok got a few good comments, and sorry, give me one sec. And with those comments, it kind of gave me the idea of like where I could see this going, and if Gunther was to lose, how it would happen, and what's the best way to do it. I mean, look, AJ could win at the Rumble, and Gunther could lose. But again, I said it in that video, and I'll say it again. The only way that I think they rectify that is by having Gunther win the Royal Rumble and then go on like a just dominant, destructive run right immediately after, where he's just world champion and doesn't give a shit about anybody and just destroys everybody. Because in his Intercontinental Championship run and his World Heavyweight title runs, yeah, he's been dominant, but to the point where it's like he's just stronger for the most part and then finds a way in the end. I just want him to go on a run where he destroys everybody and just is this super mega. I want him to abandon the whole like laughing in your face Gunther. I want him to just like, if you say something to him, he just beats the shit out of you right there on the spot. I just want to see that, where the championship is almost secondary and he just wants to hurt people first and foremost. And so that's the only way I could see it happening. And I don't see that happening. So I think AJ is unfortunately retiring at the Royal Rumble, and it's a sad day. And I don't know, maybe he does go to TNA and wrestle some more there, but at least for his WWE career, I think we're in the last 10 days. Well, really, at this point, 7 days. We're in the last 7 days of AJ Styles' WWE career.
Yeah, we're a week from him retiring.
Yeah. All right. Up next, this isn't necessarily the order we think it's going to go in, although I think we know what the main event's going to be. But let's jump into Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. Now, this match just really, getting some legs underneath it within the last 10 days, give or take. And now, after the segment we saw last night, I don't know if there's a match I'm more excited for tonight than Cody versus Jacob, and at least in terms of a storyline aspect. Okay. Maybe in terms of in-ring work, you give me AJ and Shinsuke, sure. But when I look at what we already talked about, if you missed our SmackDown reactions, go check that out. But in terms of our SmackDown reactions to everything that happened with the promo and the backstage segment last night, I think this match is probably the match I'm most excited for in terms of storyline progression. Now, what I can't do is pick a winner. I don't know who is going to win this match yet.
I thought this was going to be your for sure do you think for sure Cody's winning this? Is that what you're going to tell
me? No. I think this one is really a coin flip. I think they could go either way. I think that betting odds would probably have Cody having a higher chance to win, but I really don't know, man. Part of me feels like they should give Jacob the win here and that he needs it more and that Cody wouldn't affect Cody. And I just don't feel like a loss would hurt Cody in the long run, but it might hurt Jacob. It might hurt Jacob in the long run. And I think that if you want this guy to be believable and have the support of the crowd, he's got to back up what he says, at least from time to time. And I think this is one of those moments where not only could he back up what he says, but he could have a major career-defining moment with a win over Cody Rhodes. So, I don't know. My brain says to pick Cody, but my gut says that Jacob should get it. So, gun to my head, I'm picking Jacob. Give me Jacob Fatu.
All right. Look, this is tough. This is really tough. I mean...
What you reading over there? You're intensely reading.
Well, I'm looking at Cody's record, and they've got him beating Drew twice by... I guess these were house shows or something. By DQ or something. So they got him beat him four times in a row by DQ after he won that Stations of Hell. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's main events, or that's dark match segment stuff. Then
that's what I'm saying. Those are house shows. It's just weird that he's lost 4 times to Drew in house shows by DQ. Yeah. Beaten Drew 4 times by. I wonder what the DQ was each time. Because each time
probably Drew using a chair or using the belt or something along those lines.
I guess that's true. Drew could get himself DQ'd. I guess that's true. It doesn't say who DQs
Champion's
who.
advantage, baby.
No, that's fair. It doesn't say who DQs who or whatever. That's fair. But yeah,
Well, if Cody won by DQ, that means Drew did something to elicit a disqualification.
probably.
That means he got disqualified. No, not probably. It's definitely he got disqualified. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's just like last night when Priest won by disqualification. That's because Sammy hit Priest first, and that's why Priest won by disqualification. Yeah. So that means Drew did something he probably either attacked Cody or someone else attacked Cody from the outside, and that's what caused the disqualification, which could just be Jacob. They just have Jacob attacking him every time.
It makes me curious about these house shows we've been missing. You know, just what storyline are they playing there? Because I'm sure it's probably the same or similar match for each house show or something like that, since they're all dark. But what part of the storyline do we not get right there? And maybe I don't know. Anyways, that's either here or there. I'm with you though. I don't know what to take with this Cody and Fatu rivalry. I mean, as we talked on the SmackDown review, it's fantastic, but I don't know who's going to win. Yeah, logic says Cody, but I kind of think it's going to be Fatu. And I don't, like you said, Cody can take a loss. Fatu kind of needs the win. And I can see us developing into something. And I feel like Fatu needs to win. I feel like he kind of needs to win to get, like, he gets Cody's respect at the end by winning. And I think he wins cleanly. Like I said, I need him to win cleanly. Can't have, and I don't want Drew to pop out or something, or somebody else to pop out and DQ, Cody or whatever. So yeah, give me Fatu in a weird, like, respect match, I guess. Because as we said, this is like Cody was the villain in that promo for SmackDown. I feel like this is going to be like maybe a come together match, but Fatu wins. So yeah, give me Fatu, I think. That makes no sense, but give me Fatu.
I actually think that Cody should lose quite often this year. I think that he should take quite a few losses this year, considering how much he's won the last 2 to 3 years. I think 2026 should be all about the descent of Cody Rhodes into whatever character he's going to become on the other side of this. And I think that losing the championship to Drew was a good start. And I think that taking a loss to someone he underestimated, maybe like Jacob Fatu, because let's be real, who in the locker room is calling out Jacob Fatu for a fight?
Right.
Not many people, but Cody, who just lost his title and has a bunch of emotions running high, is willing to call out the dude that 9 times out of 10 can probably kick Cody's ass. But now, if he does that and maybe bites off more than he can chew, underestimates Jacob and says that Jacob, like what he said in the promo, you are in the situation you are in because you think before you act before you think. You do not think before you act. And that sounds a lot like someone underestimating someone else and saying that, if you were just in the right frame of mind, imagine the type of talent you can be. And then Jacob retorting and saying, you know what? You and everybody else thinks that I just am this loose cannon and then I don't know what I'm doing. And that, I'm just acting off of instinct. And I think that Jacob picking up a win over Cody could be a good way of saying, not only do I know what I'm doing, but I belong here where you think that I don't belong because of my past actions. And so, yeah, I think that Fatu needs to win more. But again, like we both said, logic says Cody. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, man. I really don't know. I really don't. But
I
we're
feel
both
like
going
if Cody
Fatu.
wins, there's outside shenanigans of some kind. Not like, necessarily for Cody, but I mean, like I said, somebody shows up. Drew shows up. I don't know. Randy Orton shows up. We've been talking about Randy and Cody for a while. Something happens to, like I said, I feel like Cody wins by shenanigans, Fatu wins straight up, if that makes sense.
Well, my only problem with anybody from the Fatal 4-Way showing up is that you're automatically showing us, unless Fatu and Cody is the main event, which I don't think it will be. If Randy or Trick or Damian or Sammy, anybody shows up in this match, you're automatically showing the audience that their main focus is not on the championship. It's on whatever is happening between Cody and Jacob. So I don't think it can be anybody from the Fatal 4-Way right now. You can maybe from down the line, but again, I think that the only way that somebody from the Fatal 4-Way would be involved is if they were the mystery attacker on Jacob. Which I did say last week that maybe it could be Randy because maybe he punt kicked Jacob's teeth out. But if it's Randy, I don't think that's until post-Mania that we find out that Randy was the attacker on Jacob. And then maybe by that point you've run it a little too dry and maybe it hits a little less. But I think it only works if Randy is the heel and we find it out later, because I still think that we're getting Cody and Randy at WrestleMania, and maybe they throw Jacob into that and we get Cody, Jacob, Randy in a triple threat at WrestleMania. And so I really don't know where we see it going, but I know that we both at least have Jacob winning, which may be the wrong pick, but it's what we're going with.
Yeah, no, see, that's why I said it's either Randy or Drew. I don't got anybody else on the Fatal 4-Way coming down. But if Randy came down, if Cody was getting his butt just handed to him by Jacob, and Randy came down something just because they're friends, like I said, I could see that somewhat influencing the match in some way. And then, yeah, it could lead to, like I said, that Randy Cody, like, what'd you do? I don't know. I don't know. But no, I only see Randy or Drew. I don't see anybody else from the Fatal 4-Way possibly. And I only see, like I said, if Cody's just getting stomped by Jacob, I could see Randy make some sort of appearance to try to help his friend, So
yeah. All right. Up next, the Women's Tag Team Championships are on the line as the champions Rio defend against, representing the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Now, we did talk about this a little bit on our SmackDown review in terms of where we both saw this going. But Matt, I'll let you take the reins on this one. Where do you see this going in terms of the champions, the newly minted champions, newly crowned champions, just a few weeks ago in their first title defense against Liv and Roxanne?
I feel like they have to win, I feel like this is more build up for the Women's Royal Rumble, if anything. Like this is total Women's Royal Rumble build up between the four of them. I feel like, the claws are going to come out. I'm more curious about maybe the post-match promo or shenanigans that happen after this match ends. I feel like in the end, Liv Morgan stands on top, but I don't think they win. You get what I'm saying? But I feel like at the end, Liv Morgan is standing on top, and we're just waiting now for the Women's Rumble, So that's kind of where I'm at with this. But I could easily see the Judgment Day winning. Like I said, I could see this going back. If there's one team right now that could take it off Rio and then take it right back, maybe in a sense, it would be the Judgment Day. I could see them have like a back and, but it all for me really to the Rumble. Since the Rumble's next week, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Rio's still the champions going into the Rumble. What do you got, Casey? I'm like I said, I'm a little mixed here because both these could easily take it. But for me, like I said, this is more Rumble setup.
This for me was my second foregone conclusion. I think that Rio has to retain. I think that Rio has to retain this match.
All right.
Now, you've got me thinking a little bit more about it now because I don't think they would hotshot the titles. I think that once Rio loses these, then I think that we're going to go the storyline of like, hey, look, we did our thing, no animosity. But I think that either Rhea or Io is going to say, look, as great as this has been, I want to get that world championship back because they've both been world champions within the last year.
Oh, yeah.
Rhea was, and then Io won it back from her or won it from her. And then, the cash-in happened at Evolution. And so I think that both of these women are going to go through the phase of like, look, it was fun. And I really love being a tag team with you. But my eyes just aren't on the tag titles anymore. And I think that they're both going to want to go after that world championship. So that's why now I'm a little perplexed because what if Liv and Roxanne do take the titles at Saturday night's main event? And then on Monday Night Raw, we get maybe Rhea and Io meeting in the middle of the ring and they kind of give each other a big hug. And they're like, look, we need to both focus on the Royal Rumble. And they kind of in the friendliest and most amicable ways, go their separate ways and focus on being singles competitors again. And then I wouldn't hate the idea of Liv and Roxanne now having that added dynamic of being tag champions again in the Judgment Day. And now you've got the dynamic of what does that do for Raquel and her animosity towards Liv and Roxanne in the Judgment Day so far? What does that do to Finn and the way he's feeling about being in the Judgment Day right now? So I don't actually hate Liv and Roxanne winning the tag titles. I just don't know if we're ready to take them off of Rio just yet. So I think they have to win, but color me pleasantly and surprised and happy if Liv and Roxanne do actually take these and surprise all of us. But I think it's Rio.
Yeah, no, like I said, that's the biggest question. How long does Rio have the championships before they do drop them? And if they, like I said, if they do drop them, who do they drop them to? I've still got them dropping them to Nia Jax and Lash Legend. I feel like they're going to drop them to them somehow. But I mean, we could still have another match with the Kabuki Warriors with this tag team, right? Like I said, we could run it back with Liv and Roxanne again one more time. Or we, like I said, what you've been talking about, we could get that 6-team women's tag match throwdown where they lose it there and nobody gets blamed because whatever, Lash Legend pins Kiana James there finally. And nobody loses face in a sense. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like Rio has to hold on to it for a little while. But at the same time, I feel like there's going to be like some post-match shenanigans. And Liv Morgan's going to be standing on top of Rhea smiling, and we're just waiting for the Rumble, or we're waiting for Raw on Monday to see what they're going to say to each other, however you want to look at it. So for me, like I said, this will be a fun match. And like I said, if nothing else, yet again, going to be another banger match. I'm thinking about so far, these first three, all going to be bangers. Really curious how Cody and Fatu kind of interact, because they have two kind of different styles. But we know how Rio and the Judgment Day interact. We know how AJ and Shinsuke react. Look, these are going to be some bangers Saturday night main event matches. So what do we think the headline match is, Casey? The 4-man number 1 contenders match. You got Sammy?
All right, so Fatal 4-Way, number 1 contender for the WWE Championship. Let's get the intro out of the way. We don't want to.
I tried to do it. I didn't intro it right, maybe.
Fatal 4-Way, I just want to have the
Fatal 4-Way. Okay.
Yeah. Fatal 4-Way for the number 1 contendership for the WWE Championship is Trick Williams versus Randy Orton versus Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn. To answer your question, I don't freaking know. I don't know who is going to win this match, man.
Come on, I thought you had Sammy.
I told you on the SmackDown reaction. Everything that happened with Sammy on SmackDown should lead to him being the favorite to win this match or the Royal Rumble.
Right, and that's why I think that if he was going to win the Royal Rumble and he doesn't win this one, who wins this one, Casey?
Randy Orton is going to be your winner.
Wait, I thought you said that him standing tall mean you don't win PLEs. I thought you were going by that math.
I've kind of switched up a little bit, I think. And I think us talking about everything else, because we talked about that at the top of the pod. And as we talked about more stuff, I kind of started putting some stuff together, and I'm looking at where everybody stands and what everybody's future plans should be. There's no way I see Randy Orton winning the Rumble again for the 3rd time. I just don't see it at this stage in his career. Yeah. And then I already told you that I think Trick and Priest should end up against each other at WrestleMania. I think that's where we should end up. And then I look at who's the odd man out, and that's Sami Zayn. And I think that in Saudi Arabia, where Sami Zayn is so beloved, I just think that him winning the Royal Rumble makes sense. And I think that him eliminating Cody to win it makes the most sense. I think that's the big key right there is now. And then you talk about, let's say Cody loses tonight. Let's say he loses at Saturday night's main event. Then he goes on to the Rumble, and then he's last 2 with Sammy. And then he gets eliminated by Sammy. Those are 2 people that within the last few months, Cody said in other terms that they are not on his level. And now he's taken a loss to Jacob, and now he's eliminated by Sammy in the Rumble, and he's lost maybe his last chance to get his championship back, unless he goes on to Elimination Chamber and then faces CM Punk at WrestleMania. But I don't think that's in the cards. So when I look at what's left among everybody, and I look where everybody's going, Randy Orton makes the most sense. And I know that goes against the wrestling math that I said at the beginning of last pod. It does. But when I look at where everybody else stands, it's either Orton or Sammy. And Sammy, the only way I could see Sammy winning this is if he goes on to face Drew, loses, and then wins the Rumble. And we talked about that maybe happening with Gunther if he loses to AJ. I don't think that's happening anymore. So maybe that is what happened. Maybe that is what happens. But that's just a lot of, lying on Sammy to just like do everything that I did. Maybe you do. Maybe because he's so over. I'm stuck here a little bit. I'm like 51 Randy, 49 Sammy. I'm right there on the edge. So at the risk of being wrong and ignoring my wrestling math, I'm going to pick Randy Orton to win this and go on to face Drew and give Drew a good title defense in his first title match. And then maybe Cody even gets involved. And then that's how you start that rift between Cody and Randy. Maybe Cody comes out to help Randy. Let's say Drew starts to target the back of Randy Orton in that title match. And Randy is just like, his back is just beat up and Drew's just taking his sweet time. Maybe Cody comes out to try to help Randy and it backfires and Drew wins. And now you've got this rift between Cody and Randy. I don't really know how I see it going per se. I would have to take some time to fantasy book it. But in terms of right now, if you're asking me to put some money on the line, yeah, give me Randy Orton and then give me Sammy to win the Royal Rumble.
You weren't supposed to take Randy, Casey.
I know.
We were supposed to be different somewhere. No, I think it's Randy 100. I think it's Randy and Trick are the last 2. I think Randy pins Trick. And so I feel like Sammy and Damian are going to be off somewhere. Or maybe I'm wrong. But I can't see Randy pinning Sammy. Like that. Maybe
I think he does. I think he does.
Really? Because I think that's the other option is Randy pins Sammy. But I think that's the question. Who does Randy pin? So it's either Sammy or Trick for me. I don't feel like Damien's even in the ring at this point. I feel like Damien is out clashing with one of the other two, whether it be Trick or Sammy. You've got him out against Trick. I've got him out against Sammy. Either one makes sense to me. But yeah, no, we both got Randy Orton here taking the title shot against Drew, going to lose to Drew, and you've got him losing to Drew and Cody coming out in the same way that I've got him coming out for Cody and Fatu. So I can see that being a very mirror image sort of thing. So we'll see how that all works out. But yeah, no, this Saturday night main event, this should be a lot of fun for the non-wrestling people in your life. So look, there's no football on tonight. Tell your friends, get your friends together, order a pizza.
For a lot of the country, it's going to get really, really cold tonight. Hunker down, watch some Saturday night's main event.
Exactly.
Eat some warm soup, get something warm in your belly.
Get some gumbo,
and get nice
baby.
And relaxed.
Get some gumbo or some
chili. If you're from the South and you got some gumbo, get you some gumbo in your system. Look, I could see this match going, let's say, quick fantasy booking at the end. Trick takes the move from Damian Priest. Damian Priest turns around into a haluva kick in the corner from Sammy. Right when Sammy turns around to make the pin, boom, eats an RKO. Randy picks up the win. There you go. That's how I would book it. And then you can have Sammy be the underdog, where it's like wrestling math tells us, right, that maybe Sammy should be the one to pin Randy, and that's how he wins based on how SmackDown ended. But I don't know. I think we could see like a mirror image where we saw SmackDown, Randy standing tall after he RKO'd Sammy. We could see that exact same scene with Randy and Sammy at the end of Saturday night's main event. And then imagine how badly people in Saudi Arabia want Sammy to win that Royal Rumble. Imagine how loud the audience is going to be for him. And I just think that Randy makes the most sense. We're in agreement on every single match for the first time and maybe ever. And I think that Randy wins, Sammy goes on to win the Rumble, and then we get Trick and Priest at WrestleMania. I think it just all writes itself.
I do like your other fantasy booking, though. I like the idea of Sammy winning this, losing to Drew at the Rumble, and then going into the Rumble and winning the Rumble, because Saudi Arabia would love that too. Like they would probably pop louder than anything if he lost to Drew and then won the Rumble.
Well, it's almost a mirror image of what happened with Jey Uso last year, right? He lost to Gunther at Saturday night's main event right before Royal Rumble, won the Royal Rumble, went on to beat Drew. So the only thing we'd be doing is shifting that match up to where Sammy just loses to Drew at the Rumble and then pulls Sammy double duty.
Can you do it better? Can you do it better than Jey, Sammy? That's what we're trying to see.
What I would really like to see Sammy do is maybe not even in a heelish way. Maybe he doesn't have a spot in the Rumble because of his title match, and maybe he attacks somebody to take their spot. Maybe Damian Priest.
So that's what
maybe that could be.
That's what I was wondering, if Sammy was going to do that. Like, but I feel like that's kind of heelish. I'm like, who would he take out on the way in? Like, who would be going in at number 7? It's, no, it's Sammy, like. I was just didn't know, I was like, who? I guess Priest could be somebody,
and probably not. But if you're pushing that desperation storyline, right, he will do anything. Then who knows? Who knows what they'll do? I don't really know.
No, I had that thought in the back of my head too. I just didn't have an answer for who he'd knock out. That's all.
Yeah.
So
dude.
Jake Paul. Jake Paul. He'd knock out Jake Paul. There we go.
Yeah, well, Jake Paul's got that wired, he's got that wired jaw shut. So,
or wait, Logan Paul. God, I always get my Paul brothers screwed up. Logan
is less annoying than Jake.
No, he is. It's been too much Jake Paul news lately because he's suing that guy for breaking his jaw. It's like, how can you sue somebody for breaking your jaw in a boxing match? Anyways, Logan
you're
Paul.
not fighting the scripted allegations right there, Jake. Sorry. All right, so to round it up, because we're all in agreement, we've got AJ Styles over Shinsuke Nakamura, Jacob Fatu over Cody Rhodes. We've got Rio retaining their tag titles over Liv and Roxanne of the Judgment Day. And then we've got Randy Orton becoming the new #1 contender for the WWE Championship in that Fatal 4-Way match. Yeah, I think funny that we're all on the same page, but that we also agree that the tag match and the Fatal 4-Way could go either way. So we're basically in simpatico on all this stuff.
Well, I think we're more on the same page that the tag match and AJ going to go one way. The grudge match, we don't know. I think that's the biggest question. The fact that we both took Fatu, neither of us took Cody. Because Cody I feel like we're not going to be surprised if that's the one we miss. I feel like that for me is the biggest. For me, that's the biggest question mark is the Cody match. What happens with him and Jacob? That for me, that's the biggest question mark.
100% agree. All right, well, what do you think? Who's going to win tonight? And do you think that this is maybe the best Saturday night's main event card we've had so far? Let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share with your friends. Go check us out on all of our socials. Go check out WWE Unreal Season 2. Find us in Season 2, Episode 2. I won't tell you the minute mark, even though I do know it. I'll let you find it for yourself. It's very short, but you'll see me full screen. Go check it out and let us know that you saw it. But until next time, this is our Saturday night's main event predictions. We'll see you again when we record on Tuesday, where we will record our Monday Night Raw reactions, and we will also record our Royal Rumble official predictions, even though we might get another match on SmackDown because they just love to do that to us. So we'll see what happens. But Matt, until then, you have anything you want to add?
No, man. Like I said, this is an exciting time. Like I said, if this is the time to get your friends hooked. Look, this is the best wrestling right now. Like I said, it's going to be cold. Get your friends in the room, have a good time, and talk about it, man. Then come watch us. Come watch the next podcast. See what we think.
That's right.
See what you think.
That's right. All right, Saturday night's main event, and then Royal Rumble next week. The road to WrestleMania is officially on the way. We are on the fast track to WrestleMania. I know it sounds like forever because it's like 3 months away, but WrestleMania will literally be here before we know it. So it'll be here pretty quick, and it's going to be a huge weekend, and another huge weekend in Vegas, 2 years in a row. Can't wait to see what they do, even though we should be having WrestleMania in New Orleans. But I digress. I won't talk about it. Until next time, this has been TK Wrestling with our Saturday night's main event predictions, and we are out.